Imagine dropping 6 figures on a government-approved tax credit, only to find out it may have never existed. Welcome to the unfolding saga of the sovereign tribal tax credit, where the stakes are high, the players are powerful, and the evidence is murky. Recently, it's been making headlines, but I've been digging into this for months, and let me tell you, it's about time this program entered the spotlight. I'm the squasher of regulatory impositions, or the SRI for short. My arch nemesis, the Internal Revenue Service, or IRS. And if you haven't noticed, SRI is the IRS spelled backwards. Coincidence? I'll let you be the judge of that. Let's take a step back and talk about what was actually being promoted. The promoters of the so-called sovereign tribal tax credit have made it sound like the opportunity of the decade. They said it was federally sanctioned, that it came out of agreements between the U.S. Treasury and sovereign tribal governments. They claimed that well-known law firms had written legal opinion letters backing this program, that you could buy the credits at a discount, sometimes as low as 60 cents on the dollar, and use them to offset your federal income tax. Not only that, they said it was partially refundable, transferable to the taxpayer, and had no restrictions on use. They said the money raised through these credit sales would support Native American economic development, things like infrastructure projects and small business funding. And to top it all off, they framed it as something completely aligned with federal policy and the principles of tribal sovereignty. Sounds too good to be true, right? That's what I thought. I first heard about this in July of 2024. Excited, my team and I spent over 15 hours and counting to date doing our own due diligence. I went directly to the source, Nepsis, the CPA firm hired by White River, the seller, to ask for direct verification access to the Treasury portal where credits were supposedly registered. I wanted to be able to visit a .gov website myself, log in myself, and see with my own eyes that the credits were indeed available for sale by the seller. I did not want a screenshot, but that access never came. I followed up religiously every couple weeks for a few months with the CPA firm representing the seller, but was told access was delayed every time, but that they were expecting it any day now. My advisory board contacted various IRS and Treasury contacts we could find online. All responses said they couldn't verify the program. And last but not least, we scoured the internet for any mention of this program by any government body. Nothing. No mention by the IRS, not a peep from the Treasury, no commentary from Indian Affairs. And I kept asking my baffled self, how can a program this big and supposedly authorized at the highest level of government not receive any press? In this day and age, when we know immediately what Rihanna was wearing while going grocery shopping, how can no third party outside of the seller and its promoters be talking about this until December 2024 that anyone went public? Here's looking at you, Bloomberg Tax. In particular, reporter Erin Schilling deserves a shout out for her relentless efforts and thorough deep dive, for finally shining the light on this topic. But now, all those claims are being called into question. The U.S. Treasury told Bloomberg these credits don't exist. There's no agreement between the Treasury and the Department of Interior to convert tribal funds into tax credits. Company spokesperson for global law firm Squire Patton Boggs, which was identified in the promotional literature as the author of an opinion letter for this program, said they never wrote it. The Cherokee Nation was also cited as being associated with this program. The Attorney General of the Cherokee Nation also reported to issue a cease and desist letter. They say they don't want any part in this. The public company backing the credits, their own auditor flagged their legal risks. Promoters pointed to the Indian Self-Determination Act of 1975 to justify it. But Treasury says that law doesn't provide any kind of tax credit authority. We also independently pored over this act and found zero reference to tax credits of any kind. They were claiming there were $64 billion in available credits. For context, that's more than 8 times the amount of assets actually managed in Native American trust accounts by the Department of the Interior. Let me share one more insight that no one else has brought up, that something else doesn't quite add up. The original version of the purchase agreement included a $25,000 refundable credit portion. The subsequent updated version that came out in late November 2024 removed any reference to any part of the credit being refundable. Now, why does the seller have the control over whether a portion of the transferred tax credit is refundable or not to the purchaser? I've never heard of that. Trust me, I would love nothing more than to have full confidence in this program so I could put my personal money and professional reputation behind it. But as of today, I just can't do it. Now, Congress is stepping in. The Senate Committee on Finance is demanding the IRS to probe into the legitimacy of these credits and any link to IRS Commissioner nominee Billy Long. The IRS affirmed the credits don't exist to the Finance Committee's Democratic investigators. In fact, in an official letter to the IRS dated April 15, 2025, Senators Ron Wyden and Catherine Cortez Masto referenced these claims and stated that the IRS itself has confirmed to congressional investigators that such credits are not recognized by the agency. Now, assuming this is true, this is no longer a gray area. It's entering litigation and enforcement territory. Let's talk about White River's official response, released the next day on April 16, 2025. In their statement, White River strongly defended the legitimacy of the tax credits. They stated that the program is designed to support Native American economic initiatives, and the proceeds would be used to fund tribal development projects. The company claimed that these credits were structured in compliance with federal laws and based on agreements with tribal governments. They also pushed back against recent scrutiny from lawmakers and the media, accusing critics of being politically motivated and attempting to sabotage the program for partisan reasons. White River stated that over the course of many months, they made numerous attempts to meet with officials across various agencies, including the Treasury, the IRS, and the Department of the Interior, to seek confirmation or acknowledgement of the program, but they claimed they never received a clear response. The company also stated that they personally claimed the credit on their own corporate tax return and received approval, and that over 100 other taxpayers have reportedly done the same with successful filings. They maintain that the program was structured in consultation with reputable tax attorneys, that all participating taxpayers were issued proper documentation and legal opinions. At Turnkey, we operate like that famous beach football scene in Top Gun Maverick. We play offense and defense at the same time. We told dozens upon dozens of the clients to hurry up and wait. Okay? We played offense by having our clients join a no-obligation waitlist to secure our chance to participate in this program in the fall of 2024. And once we received the purchase agreement, we played defense by asking them not to sign anything just yet, but wait for further substantiation. And to date, we're still on the sidelines, on hold until we have further clarity. So here's a glimpse into our meticulous vetting process. We cross-reference every claim against IRS code, rulings, and tax law. We challenge marketing statements to uncover the truth. Are the underlying assumptions backed in writing, or is it just marketing fluff? We interact with vendors directly and ask the hard questions, usually 20 or more, and insist on seeing substantiation and track record. Once the strategy passes our stringent vetting, we then handhold our clients to implement it if and when appropriate. If someone pitched you this scheme or any secret tax credit, let me know in the comments. I want to hear about it. If you found this helpful, like, comment, and subscribe for more honest, smart tax insights. I'm the squasher of regulatory impositions, helping you vet controversial tax shaving strategies, one strategy at a time. Until next time.